Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Who got more style this undo? Huh? What is going on, dude? Welcome to episode 21. Let's get right into the shits. I hate McDonald's. I go to McDonald's after work. Okay, wait, all right. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's how you could tell I'm passionate about this fucking story because I didn't even intro this podcast. Welcome to the Trey Smith Perspective, episode 21. I am your host, Trey Smith. Here was some shit to say. And shout out to y'all. I completely blanked on what I was about to say. I had something to say, left my brain right as I was about to say it. Shout out to the Spotify listenership, Podbean listenership. I don't know what's happening to the pod on YouTube, but watch. I'll get that straightened out. Watch Football Talk on YouTube with Matt and Trey. Tune into that. McDonald's. I go to McDonald's after work. Now, I rarely eat at work because if I eat, I won't want to get back up and deal with fucking customers and stock eggs and move shit around and do all that. So I rarely eat at work. I did today because I said rarely, not never. Yesterday I didn't. Go to McDonald's after work. I order a 6-piece nugget, large fry. I figured that's cool. That's a little something. You know, it's just a little something. I can go home and eat something else. I don't need to fucking spend $15 here at fucking Mickey D's and get nothing. Because let's be honest, Mickey D's in general, my distaste aside, because this is the second issue I've had on this podcast with McDonald's, is mid. McDonald's is mid. Let's fucking be honest. Nobody's first choice is McDonald's unless you're 6 and under and you're going for the Happy Meals. If your first choice is McDonald's, as an adult, grow up. Grow the fuck up. McDonald's stinks, okay? Shit stinks. All the fast food is kind of bad, but like McDonald's is not better than Wendy's. What does McDonald's have that's better than Wendy's? Name one thing McDonald's has that's better than Wendy's. I'm still waiting. And don't even fucking say sweet tea, because McDonald's sweet tea is mid now. It used to be perfect. Now, you drink that shit all the way to the bottom and your back teeth are rotted out. Anyway, I get a 6-piece nugget, large fry. I went inside the McDonald's because the line was wrapped around the store. So I parked, went in. Now, it was raining a little bit when I went into the McDonald's. Not downpouring, but it was raining a decent bit. So I go in the McDonald's, I order my shit. I watch the, I believe they call them shift managers, shift leaders. I forget what they call them. But the dude who stands in like the hole and kind of just like makes up orders and controls the screen and controls breaks and all that, that's the dude who made my bag. So he gives me this fucking bag that's literally as tall as the large fry, basically. Puts the 6-piece nugget at the bottom, and because the 6-piece nugget basically takes up the whole bottom of the fucking bag, the fries are sitting on top. So he hands me my bag like it's a fucking party bag at a fucking, like, you know when you would go to your friends' parties in like elementary school and they'd give you fucking those gift bags with like fucking pencil boxes and school supplies and shit in them, maybe some candy. It was like that shit. That's how he handed me my fries. Mind you, it's fucking raining outside. My fries are sticking out of the bag. So I take my fucking big fucking skinny fucking finger hands and I palm the top of the bag and I pull it to where it's like fully stretched out and it's covering my fries so that I can run to my car because now it's downpouring. In the 5 minutes to 7 minutes I was in McDonald's, it has started downpouring. So I'm jogging to my car. As I'm jogging to my car, I'm thinking, damn, it is really wet out here. I'm coming in a little hot. Should probably slow down, Chief. Thought nothing of it. I just put on the brakes. Bad idea. You never just kick on the brakes on slippery surfaces. You got to kind of throttle down, like chop down, like ladder drills, like ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. You never just hit the brakes. I hit the brakes. I felt my feet for a second, and then I lost my feet. My feet went straight into the fucking sky, and I ate shit in this McDonald's parking lot. Whole line of people sitting at the one red light by CVS just saw me eat shit. So I literally laid there for like 3 seconds. I was like, this is my life. Only got up when I realized, soon as a little bit of tension formed on that bag, it fucking exploded. And my fries flew under the car. My sauce flew under the car. The only thing secure was the nuggets because they were literally stuck in the bottom of the bag. Like, it looked like the nuggets, like, it looked like there was like a little bomb on top of the nuggets. The whole bag was just like, poof, it fucking exploded open. So I get in my car and I'm like, fuck it. I'm not even getting my fries. I don't even give a fuck. Because, you know, like, anywhere, not just McDonald's, if that happens, we'll give you another order. They'll give you your fries. They'll take care of you. But I'm pissed. I'm like, I'm not even doing it. As soon as I back my car out, somebody pulls out of the drive-thru thing. I pull right up. I'm like, listen, all right, I fucking some dipshit in there. Some dipshit gave me a bag, a little ass bag, and it fucking exploded when I slipped out here because, you know, it's raining. That's not exactly how I said it, but it's actually pretty close to how I said it. The way I conducted myself in this McDonald's was not acceptable, okay? So, I just want to put that out there. So there's some onus on me as well, but fuck these people. So I tell her my spiel, and she goes, oh, okay, don't worry. Try and sneak up to the front of the line, and we'll take care of you. So I'm like, all right, cool. But then as I'm driving around the line of cars around the building, I'm getting mad, and I'm starting to get mad at her for even suggesting that to me. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to sneak in front of another car in my car? Like, beep, beep, excuse me, me. Sorry, I got chicken nuggets. How the fuck am I supposed to nudge in my vehicle in this pouring down rain and be like, yes, give me this, let me cut in front of the line? Like, what the fuck? This ain't the fucking... I ain't buying shit at the fucking store. I ain't slipping in the front of the fucking grocery line. This ain't slipping in front of a fucking roller coaster line. What the fuck are you talking about? We're all in vehicles. The line's wrapped around the store. You think any of these people are going to let me pull in front of them? For what reason? So I'm sitting in my car and I'm like, I'm going to have to go back in this fucking McDonald's because that was the dumbest instructions anyone could have ever given anybody when the line is around the building. So I pull up, park, get out of my car. I go in a different entrance. Now this entrance, a lot of customers really don't use this entrance. It's mostly for like employees to like run food out to cars like the food that wasn't done when they were in the drive-thru, so they had to pull over to a reserves area. That's mostly what this door's for. But customers still use it from time to time, like me. So I swing the fucking door open. Next thing you know, oh fuck! I'm fucking flailing around. Can't keep my balance for shit because this fucking floor is soaking wet. So it's just this little, like, fucking square area where you go in one door, little glass square area. I'm fucking like a figure skater who can't keep his fucking balance, just sliding the fuck around. And then as soon as I swing the door open to get into the McDonald's again, I almost fall again. And some dude waiting there for his shit goes, damn. Yeah, I'm having a bad day. I got a bloody elbow, bloody knuckle, fucking whole back is wet. Whole body's wet, actually, because I've had to run through this downpour twice. And the dipshit that gives me my bag with the fries hanging out that started this whole problem, because anything large, dude, let's put it in a real bag. Anything large. I don't care if it was just a large fry by its fucking self. Let's put it in a bag that it'll fit in. Let's do that. That makes more sense. So I get my shit, and she gives me an actual bag, dude. It's folded. It's closed, like you should do with people's food that's carrying it out when it's raining, let alone if it was raining or not. You should do that to people's food who's getting carry out. You should make sure the bag fucking closes. So I have my one bag there with the exploded nuggets, and she's like, oh, you can keep that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, soggy nuggets. The dude who just went, damn, he chuckles. So I feel better because I made this dude feel better. I open the door. I go to walk out. I'm all over this now. I'm over it. I'm completely past it. I don't give a fuck. I got my shit. I got 6 other soggy extra nuggets. I'm cool, bro. And then I fall again in the fucking, little fucking doorway of this McDonald's, okay? I fall again. My rage has compounded like 10 times. These doors, they're the doors that you're not supposed to be able to slam because they catch themselves on the opening and they slowly close themselves. I did the thing where you make sure that fucker slams. You fucking grab it and just off the fucking side of the fence there. And I let out a fuck and just walked to my car. So salty. So salty. You better believe I MF'd that guy all the way home. All the way home. And then I ate. I watched TV for like an hour. And then I was on my way to the gym. And I drove past that same McDonald's. And I was like, I feel so bad. Because you can't conduct yourself that way. Okay? I don't care how many times you fall in the parking lot. Or how many times this dude tries to give you your bag with your fucking hot food sticking out of the top. You can't fucking scream fuck and try and slam the door off the back of the fence. Because for one, they could call the police for that. I think. 2, if I had broke the door, I'd be responsible for the door. And 3, while dude was a big dumb fucking dipshit, he didn't really do anything to intentionally fuck me over. He was just a big dumb dipshit. Now, he's going to have to deal with that every day of his life. So who's got it worse here? Me or him? Point being, I'm done with fucking McDonald's, dude. Between this shit and the breakfast sauce shit, this is just way too much stress for a place that just, as a whole, the menu is mid. Like, I don't need it. Like, everything that's good, y'all take it away anyway. The chicken selects, the chicken wraps, the actual chicken nuggets that you had, like the buttermilk ones or whatever, you take them away. Anything that's good, you actually take away anyway. So how about you just fucking get out? Be gone. Get out. Bye. See you, Ronald. Like, for real. Burger King got better chicken sandwiches and better hamburgers. Wendy's got better everything. Arby's even. I love Arby's. Arby's got good chicken sandwiches. They got the curly fries. I do like their crinkle fries. Go anywhere but Mickey D's, really. Like, that's just it. Live how you want. Do what you want. But just go anywhere but Mickey D's. You're welcome. I'm telling you what you need to hear. Okay? And what you need to hear is that you don't want to go to that place no more. Your butthole will be happy. Your tummy will be happy. And I've realized I'm off on a tangent. But the point is, I'm telling you what you need to hear, which is an important thing to do in general. I hate when people fucking blow smoke up ass, or they allow like an outlandish, like say me and you, the imaginary listener that I'm talking to right now. Say me and you are in a conversation with another gentleman. Say that gentleman is downright capping. This man is a baloney bandit, and he's throwing it all at me. He's just full of lies. And we both know he's full of lies. But neither of us call him on his bullshit. Or, let's say he's not like flat out lying. He's just misinformed. He's just misinformed, and he's reiterating or regurgitating misinformation that we both know is misinformation, and that it's not his fault he attained this information. If we don't correct him, we're both stooges. Let's say this gentleman is telling us about something that he wants to do in his personal life that we don't really agree with, even though he's all super charged up about it. We think it's probably a horrible idea. If we don't share that information, we're fucking stooges. And I feel very strongly about that because I know so many individuals in my life that just do not tell it like it needs to be. Some of my friends included. And the reason I feel maybe so strongly about this is because I feel like I'm not kept in check as much as I need to be. People do not tell me when to straighten the fuck up or how to straighten the fuck up as much as I would like them to. Like, there's situations where I know, like, oh, this dude should ring into me right now. Doesn't happen. Or this chick should fucking unload on me. Doesn't happen. Keep me in check. I'll keep you in check. Let's keep each other in check. Like, I hate blowing smoke up asses. I hate fucking sugarcoating turds. I don't like that shit. I'll be real with you. You'll be real with me. But then what the sad truth about what happens is not everybody's like that way. Not everybody's like that way. Not everybody is that way. That made more sense. That sounded more like a not fifth grader speaking. Wow, I am awful. Anyway, what ends up happening most times in those situations is that the person you're telling what you feel like they need to hear, they're not hearing it from anywhere else, so what they begin to do is just shut you out. So that's the situation I find myself in sometimes. I'm sure there's some of y'all out there that find that way, where you just kind of off the cuff say what you think, whether it's beneficial to the person or not, or whether it goes against whatever they're saying or not. You just let it fly because you feel like that's what's best for everybody. And sometimes you end up getting alienated at a certain conversations, which I guess that is what it is. But the message be the same. Just be straight up. Obviously, sometimes like don't be mean, don't be hurtful, don't have any malice. But like, you know what I mean when I'm trying to say it. Like, don't walk up to someone and be like, "You smell like shit, and you need to fix that." Like, no, like. Or like if someone's saying something you don't agree with, like, "You're a fucking idiot and you should know that." Like, no, like, you know the situations that require someone to maybe be correct. Like say I'm talking to someone who, I'm trying to think of a scenario. Say I'm friends with a young lady and I'm friends with a gentleman, and this gentleman likes said young lady, and he's misreading all the signals. Like he's flirting with her, she's being nice because that's how she is. He's misinterpreting all the signals, and now he's talking this talk to you about how much she's feeling him. Do you allow him to ride on that horse, or do you correct him knowing what her stance is? Do you allow him to kind of make himself look like a fool because he's going around telling all these people this and then fall hard? Or do you have the hard conversation with him right off the bat? I vote have the hard conversation with your friend right off the bat. Not a lot of people do that, though. And then people end up falling flat on their face, and then it becomes a talking point for 2 weeks amongst people. That's just kind of how we as a society function, and it stinks, okay? It stinks. What is this pod? Man, that fucking... I really felt bad for fucking... Because I swung the door... You know how you swing the door open? Yeah, we're back on this. You know how you swing the door open and it hits, but then like you're following through so fucking... Like your follow through is so crisp that when the door bangs, like hits what it's going to hit and then bangs back, like bounces back, you're ready. Like bang, bang, you get the double clang. That's what I did. And team that up with a fuck was not a good look. One of them situations similar to when I fucking screamed out my window, "You wanna fucking go do it?" to that gentleman who bumped my bumper. Just wasn't a good look. Looked like an idiot. Same fucking general area. That 5 points area is just not a good area for me. Expensive Pain by Meek Mill. The new Meek album came out last week. I'm really glad I decided to push this off and didn't give my rushed review that I was going to give last week when I kind of heard it all jumbled. Because I was not feeling it last week. And that was stupid. This is a really, really good album. Meek delivered probably his second or third best project here. But that is my gripe with it. I don't think this even sniffs championships. I don't even think it comes close. This is a good album. I love the intro. I like Outside. I love sharing locations with Lil Baby. I love the Kalani record. I love the Lil ASAP. I love the ASAP Ferg. I like the song with Moneybagg. I like Blue Notes 2 a lot. I like We Slide. I like Cold Hearted 3. Halo. I like most of these songs, if not all of them. But what on here is coming close to championships, bro? The intro to championships alone. What's Free? Uptown Vibes. Championships, the title track. 100 Summers, With the Shit, Stuck in My Ways. Dangerous. Like, Cold Hearted 2. Like, championships, I don't know. To me, off first 2 or 3 listens, this doesn't sniff that. But it is a great album. And I'm definitely glad I put it off for a week. Like, if you like Meek Mill and you like the growth that Meek's on, you're going to love this. Like, this is a great, great album. But just, I got championships up there, bro. Like, just, it showed his growth. It sounded phenomenal. And I have it better than this album. I do. I think as a whole. But that's not to be as an indictment on this album. I just got to make that known. Still a great project. DJ Academics said that there might be another Drake project coming. I don't like to fucking quote Academics a lot, but for the sheer fact that I said that either on last week or the week before, is the only reason I touch on it, just to let y'all know that I said that a week or two or a week ago or a week or two ago. I could say words sometimes. Oh, also something I said was probably coming. Lil Wayne dropped a project. Be it, I don't think that this was a secret. They did drop the single Feeling Like Tunchi. They dropped the video for that. Trust Fund Babies, Rich the Kid, Lil Wayne, collab project. Nice short little listen, dude. It's about 30 minutes, about 10 songs on it. They both got in their bags on certain different tracks, but I tell you what, Wayne snapped on a few of these fucking things. Headlock is like a classic Wayne verse to open that thing. Admit It's good. Buzzing with YG is good. I like Yeah Yeah a lot. The Feeling Like Tunchi record was alright. It's a nice little project, especially since Wayne's kind of been on fire with the features lately, and this kind of allows him to stay in that pocket, which he for sure did. I think that's it. Excuse me. I think that's it in the music department. Burna Boy did put out a single with Polo G. Forget what that is called. Let me open that up real quick. Want It All. Want It All with Polo G. But other than that, man, I think that's it for this week's quick run through of some tunes. We'll see what comes out for next week or what I end up listening to or whatever, but mostly been watching some things. Been actually absorbing content through the television. Watched Dave Chappell's new special, The Closer, and I loved it. If you know me, that's no surprise. You know that I love Dave Chappelle. He is my comedy goat. I think he has usurped Eddie Murphy simply because Eddie Murphy has two specials. Classics. Dave Chappelle, I believe, I'd say his first 3 Netflix specials are classics. This one gets close. Let's talk about why I don't think it hit there in a second. Or why I don't think it made that classic tier in a second. All of the Netflix specials, or since Dave Chappelle's really like his return to the public eye after being like blacklisted after walking away from the Chappelle Show at Comedy Central. All of his specials, he has not really told one joke. There's always been a underlying message or something that he's trying to convey or a perspective that he's trying to get you to see through comedy. But he does it while at the same time doing comedy, being absolutely hilarious, being offensive. He walks the tightrope better than any comedian I've ever seen walk the tightrope. And he's really the only one in this day and age that, like, does it. And does it well. So, when I say that, it means that I understand what this special is. And he even said it in the beginning, like, hey, we're going to wrap all this shit up. This is going to be my last Netflix special for a minute. And we're going to go there. I just don't know if the execution was as good on this one as it was. Oh, just dropped the fucking mic. As it was, as I talk about bad execution, as it was on the other 3. I just don't know if the execution was as good. Because I don't want to say that the message was too, like, the message aspect of it was too heavy-handed. Because I feel like there's been 1 or 2 or 3 in each special. But it felt more heavy-handed here. And I kind of feel like it had to have been deliberate, right? Like, he had to have deliberately gone in and made this more of a in-your-face message with some comedy around it, as opposed to funneling the message through comedy. I still really like it, and I've only watched it one time through. But Sticks and Stones, Deep in the Heart of Texas, what's the one? Equanimity or something? I think that's the first one that he like officially like came back on Netflix with. That one, like those, really all three of those specials are fantastic. Best bodies of work. I don't want to say that he didn't stick the landing on this, but it, compared to those three, I just don't know if this one lives up. On its own, I liked it. Again, if we're talking about it as its own thing, like if you asked me how I felt about it immediately after it ended, when he dropped the mic and the credits started rolling, I love that. GOAT. He's the GOAT. But from the words from him himself, this special is supposed to tie up a bow around all of his Netflix specials. So it's grouped in with the other three. It's the closer. And I don't know how I stack it up against the other three. I feel like the other three are all better. I love those ones so much. This one, again, it just felt a little too heavy-handed on the message aspect. And that's not to say that I don't like any of the messages or didn't enjoy any of the show or that I don't understand any of it. It wasn't as funny. At the end of the day, it just wasn't as funny as the other ones. But compared to a lot of other motherfuckers, or every other motherfucker, it's just top tier comedy. So check it out if you're a Dave Chappelle fan. You should watch Dave Chappelle anyway, especially if you like comedy. It's just an absolute masterclass. Let me see. I wrote a couple of them down. The DaBaby thing was funny. The trust fund for his trans friend that killed herself. An incredible story. And again, Dave, like, he's a comedian. Yeah, he's a funny dude. Yeah, he's a storyteller, man. This dude, like, I could just sit there and just listen to him tell stories, for funny or not, for however many hours. How some gay people are minorities until it's time for them to be white again. That whole message, man, just a lot of it rang off, but it just felt a little heavy. Like, it never felt like there was a break from it in the like throughout the special. Like, if I go back through his last three specials, you could find a message in there. You could find a lot of the same messages that are in this one, but you get some things that offset it. Like, you get the stovetop stuffing story. You get the fucking the Lil Wayne this is pussy juice. You get the Juicy Smollett shit in the other one. He had moments of levity, but they just didn't hit as well in this one, or they just were fewer and farther in between. But again, check it out. While I do think it's the worst out of all of his Netflix specials, I feel like I feel like I've sounded like I've hated this thing. I really enjoyed it. It's just, it's like when you're the GOAT or when you're on the top, and we're comparing you against yourself every time. So that's just the unfortunate truth of it. But still a great special. I think it's a great way. I think it's a nice bow on all of his Netflix specials. I think it puts an end to that story pretty well. Not that it was like a big overarching story, but you know what I mean. Like, there were some topics that carried through from special to special to special to special, and he wrapped them all up. And he said, and on some of them, he said, I'm not talking about this shit anymore until y'all are ready to talk about this shit. I enjoyed it a lot. I highly recommend it. What I really, really recommend, though, is that fucking Soprano movie. the Many Saints of Newark. Bro, that movie is fire. That might be the best movie I've seen so far this year. It might be. I haven't seen a lot of movies this year that have like come out that are like new, mind you. This might be the best one I've seen this year. Actually, I think it is for sure. Billy from Jurassic Park 3 killed that shit. No, I don't know his real name. He played Dickie, and he killed that shit. Bruh. Why haven't I not... Wow, that sounded intelligent. Why have I not seen this dude in anything since he stole the raptor eggs? He stole the raptor eggs in Jurassic Park 3, and I haven't seen him in anything since. I even liked him in Jurassic Park 3. I thought he was kind of bullshit that Billy was there, and then Jeff Goldblum and all the other dudes weren't. But I didn't hate Billy. I didn't want Billy to die by the fucking pterodactyls. I thought it was dumb as fuck he stole the raptor eggs, dude. We're off topic. Point being, this movie is good. This movie's really good. I couldn't point out a bad acting scene in this fucking thing. And as someone who I've never seen The Sopranos all the way through. Like, I've never sat and watched season 1, season 2, season 3. I know about events in The Sopranos through many references and Watch Mojo videos and fucking YouTube video essays referencing other things. Point being, through other mediums, I've seen enough of The Sopranos. Like, I know how it ends. I know the fucking cut the black ending. I know all that shit. I have my theories. I agree with the big main theory out there that the whole show was told from Tony's perspective. As soon as the lights went out, or the show cut to black, his lights went out. He got shot in the back of the head by the dude who went in the bathroom to get a gun. Whole family died. Horrible. I get it. But what I'm trying to say is, I've never actually sat and watched from episode 1 to the last episode of The Sopranos. So there's a lot of little character moments and a lot of nuances and a lot of shit that I really just didn't see. Because, yeah, I know what happens. I know the gist of The Sopranos, but I'd never seen it. This movie has me watching it. I think I'm on episode 3 or 4. I'm rewatching it. I literally wanted to dive straight from the movie, get out of that pool, dive into the old HBO pool of the show. And it's perfect. Like, if you go from the ending of the movie straight into the ending of the show, or the beginning of the show, like I did, like I finished the movie, took shit, started the show. Perfect. Because the song on the outro of the movie literally is the intro song, and it carries you. I felt like it carried me right on in. Like, as soon as the song started playing in the intro, after I watched the movie and was watching the pilot, I felt like I was just being lifted off one ride and taken on another. Like, I felt like that. I felt like I had say I rode a rocket ship somewhere and I landed, and then I'm in like a little ejectable cockpit that just is its own little fucking mode of transportation, and now that's taking me somewhere. That's literally what it felt like. It felt like I landed and then started to take off again. It was awesome. I fucking hate Junior. I'm not going to go into, super spoilers, but I am just going to dabble. I fucking hate Junior. Watch the movie, figure it out for yourself. It was really fucking funny. One of the things I didn't realize because I hadn't watched the whole show was how funny it can be. When he's in there, when he just beat his fucking dad's head off of the steering, I guess that's a fucking, you know how I go. You know how we do here. When he bashes Ray Liotta's fucking head off the steering wheel, the whole time I'm going, whoa, dude, that's enough! All right, he's on fucking blood thinners. Tony comes bouncing the ball down, and he's trying to shut the garage, and he's talking to Tony, and he's talking to his wife. You want pork chops? Yeah. Hey, Anthony, what are you doing here? Go back home. You want applesauce? I don't know what sauce. I've been walking around saying that for like 3 days. That's not even close to the funniest part in the movie, or like even being that funny, but just him, I don't know what sauce. So I can't help you with the car? What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. What did I just say? Great movie. Fucking Joey D. I'll eat her shit. Oh! I'll eat her shit. Oh! You don't talk about it like that. Then he got his fucking head blown off, dude. That, like, I was, like, living in, like, I was vibing to the music, living in the fantasy world of, like, oh, this is fucking 1960s, eh? These are fucking Italians, these are the gangsters. This is gonna be a fun ride. And then he shot that, and then Harold shot that dude in the fucking recruiting office with the shotgun, dude, and I was immediately brought back down to earth, like, real hard. Like, no, like, soft landing. I was like, oh, fuck, yeah, this is the fucking... Shit gets real here. I forgot. I'm like, oh, dude. I still can't really talk about this part without wincing. When he takes the fucking... I forget Harold's his friend's name. He's the dude that they fucking... They bust into his shop and fucking... put him on a fucking table in his own garage. And he gets the shit that you use to unscrew... or to, like, change tires with, like... And he fucking put it in his mouth, dude. And just fucking tore my man's teeth out. Oh, it hurts just to talk about. I'm not going to lie, though, man. At the end of the movie, I was really, really, really mad that Diggy died. Even though I knew he was going to die, because he's dead in the whole show, I really was pissed off. Mostly because Junior's a fucking pussy. Like, how are you that insecure? My brother's in jail. Anything with the family business goes through me. You got diarrhea. Joey Diaz only had like 4 lines, but he was good in this movie. I just love seeing him and shit. Oh, fuck. Because, man, you feel for Dickie, but then you're like, nah, you probably deserve it. And then you're like, As soon as he goes to see his uncle in prison, which I was like, fuck, man, we're 10 minutes into this movie. They already killed Ray Liotta. Oh, what's up, Ray Liotta? The very next scene. I'm a different person now. I talk slower, and I like jazz. Why are you here? Like, it's like, all right, whatever. I guess we're rolling. I want to do a good deed. And, like, you feel for him, but then he murders his dad. And then you feel for him, and then he cheats on his wife. And then you feel for him, and then he murders his mistress. And then you feel for him, and then he... Well, you feel for him even when he cuts off Tony, because he's in his mind he's trying to cut off Tony for the right reasons, like when he's like, leave your nephew alone. But like, he's too far into it already. Like, Tony's way too attached, he's too attached to Tony. Like, the acting was phenomenal. I thought he sold that very well. Like, the back and forth, like the wanting to be good, but just like the constant explosion of bad shit that continued to happen, and a lot of it was his fault. I mean, he knew that, and even when he was lying through his teeth to other people, you could see it, like, in his eyes, like, how he was holding all that. Like, none of that was just easy for him. He's holding it. But he's kind of a monster of a fucking person, so, like, he's gonna continue to do these vile fucking things. So he kind of deserves what he got coming to him, but to have it happen because you fucking laughed because Junior fell down the goddamn stairs. It's like, it is very Sopranos-y. Like, it is very, like, in line with, like, the universe that's been set up. And it works and it's in line with Junior's fucking insecure pussy ass character. But god damn, just even when you know it's coming and you know he deserves it, seeing Billy laid out there with a fucking bullet and hole in his head. Shouldn't have took the raptor eggs, Billy. Where was your lucky pack? Where was your lucky pack this whole trip to true New York City? Definitely check it out, man. Check it out if you're a Sopranos fan, for sure. Check it out if you're not, because it'll probably turn you into one. Definitely check it out if you're like me and you know the gist of the Sopranos, have never actually seen it all the way through, but know all the main points, know the gist of it and all that. This will make you want to dive in completely. I give this movie a 9 out of 10. Nah, maybe go 8.5. I'm gonna go 8.5 out of 10, because there's a few things where I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how did Shorty Do-Up find Harold, and then they just went to a fucking random motel and fucked, conveniently, as Dickie happens to be, like, mortal enemies with this guy? How did, like, I'm cool with it happening, but how did it happen? Like, we only saw them interact twice, maybe 3 times. The first time, he said, "What's up?" and she said, "No English." And the second time, it was just them staring at each other for a second or two. And it's like, at what point, like, yeah, you set up the tension. I get it. You set up the tension, the sexual tension. But at what point did they have an opportunity to cash in on it? She, from my understanding, doesn't have a very good grasp on how to, like, communicate in English. So you're telling me she, like, found this dude's number in the phone book or some shit? So that was the only part where I was like, oh, because, like, literally it cuts in to them fucking, and you're like, oh, Harold, you dog. How'd this happen? How'd this happen? I was rooting for Harold. Like, well, you don't really have a reason to ever root against Harold. You don't want him to ever kill Dickie. But even though Dickie definitely, like, deserves it. And a lot of these Italian dudes are racist as fuck, so they definitely, like, deserve it. But Dickie's the main character. He's built up to be likable. So, like, you're rooting for him throughout the movie. But I did find that when he was dead and gone, and it was kind of like doing a montage to, like, show where everybody was at, and Harold was moving into the suburbs or whatever. Or not the suburbs, but he was moving out of the ghetto. He was moving up with the whites. And everyone was pissed on the street. I was like, all right, Harold, do your fucking thing. Or everything that you could even have, like, a slight problem with was set up, kind of. Like, I have a problem with how, I forget her fucking name. But I forget, like, even though it's, like, a gripe of mine that I don't know how the fuck these two would have managed to meet up, not having any way to communicate with each other. But they did at least plant that seed earlier, so it's like, yeah, all right, but whatever. That's good. That's good writing. Even when the writing's bad, it still has something to fall back on. Highly recommend it. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely check that out. I've also been watching Squid Games, the show that Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all the social medias have just picked up on like wildfire. When this happens, and it happens every now and then, social media will just pick a show, and that's the show now. Now, when it happens, it's typically for a reason. It's typically because the show's good. So whenever it's a movie or a show or a music video or a song or anything that is trending for days on social media, has now become its own source of memes, it's probably good. And I'm not going to give my full in-depth Squid Games review. I'm going to either do that next week or the week after, because I'm only on episode 5. And I am watching it with my lady. So if we don't finish it by the time I record for next week, it'll definitely be for the week after. But yeah, we're 5 episodes in. I think there's 9 episodes. It's wild, man. It's absolutely wild. The pacing feels a little bit off sometimes. But when shit's going, it's going, and it's great. A lot of the writing's good. The acting has been fucking phenomenal. I definitely recommend checking it out, and I highly recommend watching it with subtitles. I don't know how people watch English dubbed live action things. Bro, if the mouth is not lining up with the words or even coming close, like you're speaking Korean and the words coming out of your mouth are English, dude, it was bugging me and it was bugging my lady. And she was like, can we just put on subtitles? Now me, watching anime and having subbed anime grow on me more and more, the more I watch it, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's put these fucking subtitles on, dude. Immediately made the show 10 times better. But then, you got the people, I don't want to read. Oh, I'm sorry. Whenever you fucking find a way to get past that 2-inch little gap of words at the bottom of your screen, you'll unlock a whole bevy of different of entertainment that you didn't even know that you were holding yourself back from. Believe me, it's not that big a deal. It's weird for literally half an episode when people are speaking a different language and you're reading subtitles. If you're not used to it, you get used to it fast. Like, it's just something that you literally just will not do. Or you think it's like a weird, dorky thing to do. No. Get over yourself, read the fucking subtitles, and enter a new world of fucking entertainment and content that you've just been restricting yourself from because you don't like to read things. I think this has been a pretty decent episode, though, all things considered. I've been meaning to touch on the Steve Ditko estate versus Marvel and Sony and Disney thing. I've been meaning to touch on that for a couple weeks, but it seems things keep either happening with it or parties are taking action on certain things, so I'll either wait for that whole thing to resolve itself and completely ignore it in hopes that I never hear about it again because that would fucking suck. Or we'll visit one of these weeks coming up when I pull up an article and I'm able to kind of discuss it more intelligently. Until then, shout out to you guys. If you enjoyed this, share it with somebody. If you haven't sent it to your gamma yet, why not? Yeah, be a friend, tell a friend. Look out for football talk. I had something else that when I entered the pod office, I was like, I want to sign off with that. And then here we are to sign off. And I don't remember what it was. So I'll catch y'all next week.